If you're a cocktail nerd like me, you probably have hundreds of cocktail books. My name's the Rusty Bartender, and I'm going to run down my favorite 10 cocktail books of all time. These are the kind of books that make great gifts depending on what stage of their bartending career they're at. There's books on this list for any type of skill level: beginner, home bartender, intermediate, even the experts. And stay tuned for number 10, because number 10 is probably a cocktail book that not a lot of people actually have, but plenty of people want. And full disclaimer, by no means is this a definitive list. There will be plenty of books on that are not on this list, and I'm pretty sure you'll let me know in the comments what they are. Okay, so the first 5 books on this list are what I'm gonna class as beginner's books for the home bartender. If you're just starting out and you've never made a cocktail before, these are really easy to understand and easy to follow. So number 1 on our list, we've got Strong, Sweet and Bitter, and that's by Cara, Devine. She actually works in a Melbourne bar here in Australia. This book, if you're just starting out, gives a good foundation. You've got 60 recipes in here and really easy to follow. You've got classics and riffs on classics, which is what you need when you're starting out. Strong, Sweet and Bitter. At number 2, a personal favorite of mine is the Cocktail Guidebook by Steve the Bartender. If you already follow my channel, you already know that I'm making my way through this entire book, making every single one of the cocktails on this channel. But yeah, this book contains over 125 different recipes for cocktails, and also has the recipes for the syrups and pretty much everything you need. Next on our list is a real favorite of mine. This is the PDT cocktail book. If you don't know what PDT is, it's the bar in America, and it's called Please Don't Tell. This book literally has hundreds of recipes in it. Really easy to understand again. It's awesome. And again, in this book, pretty much all the recipes are riffs on classics, and their house-made cocktails. It's great. And as you can tell by the cover on this one, it's pretty well worn. Oh, and if I didn't mention, this one is by Jim Meehan. Following on from that book is Meehan's Bartender's Manual. This is not necessarily a cocktail book. It does have cocktails in it and cocktail recipes. It's more like a bartender's manual. Like if you're just starting out in the game, you need to read this. It's got everything in it. It's got the techniques, what the tools are for, how to set up your bar. Get this. I would even go so far as saying, if you had never had a job in a bar before, but you read this manual, you know everything, apart from pouring a pint. The last of our beginner guides is this book, and it's a must-have. This is Sasha Petraske's Regarding Cocktails. This pretty much has every single classic you'll ever need to know, plus modern variations on them. If there was such a thing as desert island cocktail books, this would be on it. Okay, so the next 3 books on the list are for the more sort of experienced bartenders. If you've already worked in a bar or you've been home bartending for a while and you know pretty much all the basics, these are good books to have, as they're going to expand the amount of knowledge and cocktails that you'll be able to learn. So at number 6, I'm going to cheat because I've actually got 2 books and I could not separate which one to put at number 6. Both these books are from Death & Co. Not sure which one came first, pretty sure the original Death & Co. And then they had their cocktail Codex. But a lot of great recipes in this book, and it's huge. It's got hundreds of recipes, some that you'll have never heard of before. And if you're interested in learning like the concepts and theory behind making your own cocktails, Cocktail Codex is brilliant. It really goes in depth about the Mr. Potato Head theory of making cocktails. If you know, you know. Well, you'll know after reading this anyway. At number 7, we've got Smugglers Cove. If If you've been making cocktails for a while, sooner or later you're gonna come across tiki drinks. I myself do not know a lot about tiki drinks, but if you read books like this, Smugglers Cove, you're gonna start learning about them. And I think as tiki books go, it's a pretty good place to jump off. This book dives into the history of tiki, which is pretty cool. And there's a lot of history to learn. If you're a big fan of your tropical drinks, grab this. At number 8, I'm actually cheating again. I've got 2 books, this time from the boys over the Dead Rabbit. Well, boys and girls over the Dead Rabbit. I've got their drinks manual and their Mixology and Mayhem. These books have so many great cocktails in them. And they both give you a great insight into working behind the Dead Rabbit bar and how they come up with making the recipes and stuff. But great books. Give them a try. These next 2 books delve into a category which I would like to refer to as molecular mixology. So the first one, of course, is David Arnold's Liquid Intelligence. Pretty much this book is taking the old classics and like injecting them with steroids. The drinks in this manual and how to make them are insane. You got everything you want in a show. There's smoke, fire, liquid nitrogen. It's nuts, but in a good way. It's like a science book. And the guide to how to make clear ice in it is worth buying the book for alone. Okay, the final book on my list. This is a book I never see on any lists, but since I've got the book, it has so many good recipes and flavors. It's like if Liquid Intelligence teamed up with the Avengers. It's nuts. The book I'm talking about is the Aviary cocktail book. If you've ever heard of legendary chef Grant Achatz, I think that's how you pronounce it, the head chef of the famous Alinea restaurant, this is the cocktail book. This is pretty much one of the most beautiful cocktail books I've ever seen in my entire life. It's over 440 pages long, a huge list of cocktails. Even if you're not skilled enough to make any of the cocktails in this book, the flavors and ingredients that are in each one of the cocktails should be able to inspire you. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what cocktail books are all about. It's not about just making the recipes and making the drinks. It's about learning what flavors go together and what you can learn from it. So yeah, the Aviary might be one of my favorite ever cocktail books just for the inspiration alone, the flavors. Like, you're talking about Michelin star chefs putting their ideas forward for drinks. They know what flavors go together. Mix it with alcohol. Now you're talking. Anyway, that was my list. I'm pretty sure you've got your own suggestions what should be on the list. Let me know in the comments below.